Hello folks, this is Wayward Eko. In this video I'm going to break down dev stream number 3. This one is all about updated zombie and trader models, which will include the new Jiggle Tech as well as Gore and Dismemberment functions. Let's jump right on in with the Screamer zombie. This update brings a phenomenal new creep factor, but in addition to just the graphical update, we got a sneak peek into the new tongue action from the Screamer. This is just one of many new animations being added along with Alpha 20. Here's the burnt zombie with his fried gluteus maximus and a toothy grin. The businessman was one of my personal favorites. I really love the details around the mouth here. He just looks super gory and messed up. The character artists went out of their way to give each zombie a bit of a story to them. So in the case of the hazmat zombie, you can see that the mask is broken. This is theoretically how the hazmat zombie initially got infected and became a Zed. Lumberjack has lost his former blue hue and now will be able to be found outside of the winter biome. Marlene has gotten a significant update and we will get to see some of the Jiggle Tech here with her eye hanging out of her right eye socket. Here's the thug zombie that we first saw in one of the city stills. This will be the replacement for the former skater zombie. I've heard mixed opinions on the spider zombie. Some people feel like this went more of a mutated feel than an actual horror zombie feel. Here's some of the new animation and dev commentary.
And this is the spider zombie, and this Brett wanted the jaws to open up, so this opening up the jaws and the tongue and the teeth moving around, I call it more of like that predator kind of look,
I also showed some of the animation they'll be using for this spider zombie. This one gives a lot more character than some of the other zombies that we see out there, so hopefully we see a little bit more of this across the board. Both the mechanic and the construction zombie seems to have had pretty straightforward updates. I think overall the changes to the lab zombie look really good, and in just a minute here we'll get to the Jiggle Tech that they have included in this zombie model. I'm a big fan of the new nurse model. I appreciate that it has more of a modern aesthetic to it, and again they've really upped the gore factor on these close-in shots. This is our first view of the new soldier zombie. Changed the color palette and added quite a bit of detail here. This will also be one of the first zombies to get some of that good quality Jiggle Tech. Since we now have a new spider zombie, we're just going to call this the old spider zombie. For those who have played in the previous alphas, you'll remember putting bars around the edges of your base to keep these gents from climbing right up the side. Last on our zombie parade is the white zombie, which we have previously seen on another stream. I'm hoping we see some unique mechanics out of this guy. We've previously seen the doggo and his glorious nutsack, but tonight we also got to see the new animations for the dog.
There we go. All right, now it's alive, kind of. All right, that's kind of like a test run cycle for it, and it's got a little flappy jaw right there, because it's a zombie dog. Oh, it just got. I think it just got shot. Okay, yeah, it's dead. Yeah, that's its death loop.
Oh,
yeah, I always like to have them like jump and stuff. That's its sleeping. So there we go. Yeah, that's its sleeping animation. Looks like a dog sleeping. Oh, it just woke up. Right, there you go.
So the other animal update we did have was the vulture. Unfortunately, it sounded like this one wasn't going to be ready for Alpha 20 and that it would likely come in a following patch. We'll touch on plans for the rest of the animals during the Q&A session. Because I didn't know where to toss the gibs, I put them right with the animals. So these are the chunky bits that'll fly from your zombies to give you better satisfaction when you murder them. Unfortunately, at this time, they didn't have any live examples of this to show us. Let's walk through the updated trader models that they showed us, starting with everybody's favorite. I gotta say, this is a great rendition of Trader Wrecked. He looks like a perfect balance of a weeble wobble and a flaming asshole. Next up, we've got Trader Joel. I really appreciated all the layers of texture that they have in this model, and then the bandolier across the front just makes it super sharp. This is a great Trader Hue update with lots of flavor. In the details of his model, you can see a man who fought a bear, lost an eye, and then wore that bear on his back. Last of the traders here, we've got Trader Bob. I appreciate the vest with all the improvised pocket mods, as well as the tattoo on his shoulder looks really, really good. So this brings us to Jiggle Tech.
Oh, yummy.
This was the initial design concept that the character artists pitched.
This one is purely a design concept. It's not like the in-game model. Like this was when me and Brett were still trying to pitch the idea of new Dismemberment.
So from that concept, they went on to jiglify the lab zombie. So if you notice, the left hand is flopping around, and then there is a gaping wound on the right side that you can see moves and flaps open as well. Next up is the soldier zombie.
Oh, so this is the soldier by Brett, but it's purely a motion test. Like in game, it would be moving based on the movement that the zombie does, like if it runs or falls down. This is just sort of like a demo for you guys, just to show like what parts are movable.
So I like the concept of this, but I really want to see it and how it interacts in motion to see if it looks cheesy or, you know, really adds to the flavor of the game. Last in our Jiggle Parade, we've got Bubbles, or whatever they end up calling this critter.
This is a similar idea, only this one is blending in a custom animation I did as well. Just kind of signal that there's something different about the zombie. Similar to the eyeball Brett was talking about, you can't really look at Bubbles like that and then not be bugged that they're not doing anything. So this originally wasn't planned, but then I kind of just tried to see if I could make it work.
So far, I'm really liking the Jiggle Tech, and I'm curious to see how they implement this on the rest of the zombies. So for the Gore and Dismemberment update, the goal was to give a little bit more visual interest as we're smacking our zombies around.
We want zombies to have more unique stumps on them. Previously, like, you chop at a zombie and their limb would just disappear into space, and the stump that was there just kind of looked like someone put hamburger to kind of close a wound.
The character artist did go on to discuss that this might bring a level of gore that some players are just not interested in, so they are looking into the option of being able to switch this on and off. So that covers the show and tell portion of the dev stream. Let's hit up the Q&A with some of the key questions that they had. So there were a lot of questions around dynamic aspects of zombies to see if they can make them more varied. Specifically, it was asked if the zombies could have different colorations.
Somebody asked about color variation for the zombies. I think I don't know if we have it written in stone, but I think we're going to try to do some color swapping stuff for some of the zombies where we get a little more color variation in some of their clothing.
Yeah.
This is one of those really simple changes that could make a huge difference in the immersion. This way, if you have 4 Bows or 4 Arlenes in front of you, it won't just look like Attack of the Clones. A handful of people also asked whether they were going to be redoing the rest of the animals.
Will the deer and pigs, etc., be updated for Alpha 20? So will the other animals be updated?
No. I got some of them going in the high poly. I've been doing it on the side, but that takes a lot to get done. So I do have a boar going, the bear, chicken, the rabbit, the deer have all been about 70 to 80% done high poly. I just haven't zombified them. Some of them I'm still kind of pushing for that. And then you after the high poly, you have to do the low poly on skinning them and then do the texturing.
So short story, looks like we won't have the rest of the animals until after Alpha 20 drops. So the next question I had was around animation, specifically with eating.
Asking about updated food, drink, and eating animations and stuff. It has been talked about for sure, you know, with different variants of food and drinking stuff, you know, because I think right now it's like a brown baggie or something like that. But it has been talked about, and me and Brian are actually, you know, trying to, you know, considering on working on that. Yeah.
Not a huge game changer, but that would be a nice addition so that if you're drinking some red tea, you see something more appropriate from a graphics perspective, and likewise sham sandwich and stuff like that. Along these lines, there were a handful of questions that asked about the walking animations, just because right now they're super janky. But that was not currently on the list. They said that they would put it on for future development. So this last question was around the future dev streams that are upcoming. If you listen closely to this one, you can pull out a lot of potential details in regards to when Alpha 20 might drop, or more importantly, when it won't drop.
So we're going to do a few more streams with We have the environment artists and a few others that night. We have the programmers another night. I'm not sure what's the next week, but sometime after that, we're going to start doing some playthroughs. Or wait, Random Gen is after that, and then we may be doing... I mean, we have a schedule. I'm probably missing something. So, yeah, Random Gen, Rick just said. But after that, Rick and Joel are going to be back here for us to do a playthrough. So
pulling apart what Lathan just said, we're talking about at least 3 more weeks of dev streams. That's going to take us out to October 13th, and then after that would be the playthroughs, which probably wouldn't start until the following week, the 20th. So that and the fact that they haven't been able to show us a working Alpha 20 yet outside of just short clips really leads me to believe that I don't think we're going to see an experimental build in October. I think Rick may have been a little bit over ambitious, but my guess is still that we won't see that until November. Well, folks, that is all that I have for DevStream number 3. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next Thursday for the 4th DevStream. Eko out.